Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to speakupliberty.com. Before I get into the topic today, I just want to let you know that I identify as a Republican atheist. I recently came across a post on Facebook that interested me because it was a social experiment, and I love social experiments. And also, it was coming from a woman who is a leader in the trans community in the United States, and she's also very well known in local politics, speaks at universities, is a publicly pronounced Democrat, and so she's a person who has a lot of connections. So I'm interested to hear from her connections since she's basically a representative of the trans community. She posted a photo of a Muslim woman wearing a niqab, being fully clothed, on a train sitting next to a trans woman. She asked, "What would be one word you would use to describe this photo?" Which is understandable because you have a woman who's fully clothed, who's a part of an Orthodox religion, sitting next to a person who's very progressive, open, not wearing much clothing. I understand she wanted to know. And she started off the thread by saying, "Mine would be respectful." I take note of that because, again, she's the representative of the trans community here. She's the outspoken person, so she sets the stage on this topic in terms of what she believes. I looked at other responses, and it was predominantly overwhelmingly positive responses. There was very little concern. People said responses like freedom, acceptance, fabulous, tolerance. Someone said sisters. This stood out to me because there is a woman here wearing a niqab. Most of the people who are responding in this thread are coming from the US. I don't think they've been around people who have worn niqabs because, personally speaking, the first time I've ever seen a woman wearing a niqab was when I was in Birmingham in the UK. And I'm born and raised in the United States, born and raised in Southern California. There was a man who spoke up on the thread who said he is Muslim, he was based in Pakistan, and he repeated that women are able to choose what they wear, Muslim women. No one challenged him on that statement, and it's been said time and time again that in many situations women are not able to choose what to wear. It deals a lot with social pressures and pressures from their husbands. It's a debatable topic, but again, he made a blanket statement saying that Muslim women can wear what they choose, no questions asked. In many ways, I view these positive responses to be very self-centered. There's many questions to ask about this woman. Who is she? What is her background? Why is she wearing these garments? Many of these responses are unconcerned, and it seems like there's just this effort to present this level of tolerance and acceptance to the point that they really don't care about the woman herself. Nothing matters about her. All that matters is that they present themselves as an accepting community. Eventually, someone on the thread, a man, spoke up against the status quo of all the positivity that was being said, and he didn't make a very advanced statement. He said, "They are entering our homes and killing our families because we are non-believers for them." Immediately, he was met with hostility about this quote. There was a girl who said, "That is completely false and really intolerant." And she didn't ask him where he's from or what his history was, which I thought was funny because to me that comes off as intolerance, to tell him that he's false, yet to not inquire about why he would say such a thing. And then another woman chimed in and said, "Troll, the guy is Lebanese, 54% of the population of Lebanon is Muslim, on top of which he now lives in Canada. He's a troll and an idiot. Move on." This struck a chord with me because I have been called a troll myself for speaking up on liberal-leaning threads like this, bringing up something that conflicts with the general concepts being spoken on the thread. Also, she completely disregards that he's from Lebanon. Lebanon has a really interesting history if you read into it. Lebanon used to be one of the most thriving nations in the Middle East, and this was when it was a predominantly Christian nation. but it deteriorated once it became a Muslim nation after the Lebanese Civil War in the 1970s. I can totally understand where he's coming from. I don't know much about him in terms of his writing abilities. It doesn't look to be advanced by how he typed. But again, if you look into the history of Lebanon, it's understandable to see where he's coming from and to see that there is legitimacy in what he says. I chose to bring this up because it taps into the hypocrisy that I've been observing in various social justice movements in the United States for the past few years. It's easy to promote tolerance and acceptance without asking any questions in the United States because Americans tend to be ignorant about challenges that people in other parts of the world are facing, and they're serious challenges such as female oppression and religious oppression. Thank you so much for tuning in.